Why the busiest people are often the loneliest, why your calendar is lying to you, why a man who never missed a single workday missed his entire life, and why the most dangerous words you'll ever say are, "I don't have time." I'm 74 years old, and I need to confess something that might make you uncomfortable. For 50 years I believed I was living. I wasn't. I was performing. I was running. I was filling every second of every day with tasks, meetings, deadlines, and obligations. I called it ambition. I called it responsibility. I called it being a man. It was none of those things. It was hiding. I hid behind my calendar the way some people hide behind alcohol. Nobody questioned it. Nobody staged an intervention, because society doesn't punish busyness. It rewards it. People looked at me and said, "That man has it together." They admired my discipline, my schedule, my hustle. Nobody saw the truth. I was the most productive ghost you'd ever meet, present everywhere, alive nowhere. Something happened 6 years ago that ripped the mask off, and what I saw underneath terrified me. I was 68, a Tuesday. I remember because I never missed Tuesdays. Tuesdays were my longest days, 7 meetings back to back. I was on my 4th meeting when my chest went tight, my left arm went numb, the room tilted sideways. I grabbed the edge of the conference table and thought, I can't have a heart attack right now. I have 3 more meetings. That was my first thought. Not my wife, not my son, not my life. 3 more meetings. I collapsed. Right there on the carpet, someone called an ambulance. I woke up in a hospital room, white ceiling, beeping machines, and silence. Nobody was there. For 2 hours I lay in that bed alone. My phone sat on the side table. I reached for it. 47 work emails, 12 missed calls from colleagues, 0 from family. 0. My wife didn't know I was in the hospital because we hadn't spoken in 3 days. We lived in the same house. 3 days without a real conversation. And neither of us noticed. My son didn't know because I hadn't called him in 6 weeks. I lay there staring at that ceiling and asked myself one question. If I had died on that carpet, how long before someone who loved me would have found out? I couldn't answer, and that silence was louder than any alarm. I built my life like a machine. Every hour scheduled, every minute accounted for. I woke at 5, gym by 5:30, office by 7, home by 9, sometimes 10, sleep, repeat. I told myself stories to justify it. When I get the promotion, then I'll slow down. I got the promotion. I didn't slow down. When we pay off the house, then I'll take a vacation. We paid off the house. I took my laptop to the beach and worked the entire trip. When my son graduates, then I'll be more present. My son graduated. I was on a conference call in the parking lot. I missed his name being called. He never told me. I found out years later, so I waited again. At 35, my wife asked me to take a month off. I laughed. A month? Impossible. At 45, my son asked me to coach his baseball team. I said maybe next season. There was no next season. He stopped asking. At 55, my doctor told me to slow down. I switched doctors. I had the corner office. I had the respect. I had the awards on the wall and the firm handshake and the reputation. But I didn't have a single memory of my son's childhood that wasn't blurry. I didn't have a marriage. I had a co-signer on a mortgage. I didn't have a life. I had a schedule. Let me tell you the most dangerous lie in the world. It's not, I'll be happy when. It's not money buys happiness. It's I'm busy. Those 2 words destroyed my life. Because I'm busy sounds responsible. It sounds important. It sounds like you matter. But here's what I'm busy really means. You're not a priority. Every time I said I'm busy to my wife, I was saying she didn't matter enough. Every time I said it to my son, I was teaching him that work was more important than he was. And here's the cruelest part. I wasn't even that important at work. I thought I was irreplaceable. You know what happened when I had my heart attack? They replaced me in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 50 years of sacrifice. 50 years of missed dinners. 50 years of I can't, I have work. And the company moved on like I never existed. My colleague Richard did the same thing. Worked until he was 71. Retired on a Friday. Dead by Monday. Heart gave out. At his funeral, his boss said he was dedicated. Dedicated. Is that what you want on your tombstone? He was dedicated? Or would you rather it said he was present? You know what haunts me at 3 a.m, not the deals I lost, not the projects that failed, not the clients who walked away. It's the small things. The school play where my son played a tree. A tree. He had no lines, he just stood there in a brown costume with paper leaves taped to his arms, and he looked out into the audience searching for my face. I wasn't there. The anniversary dinner my wife planned for our 25th year. She bought a new dress, made reservations at the restaurant where we had our first date. I canceled 2 hours before. A client needed me, a client who doesn't even remember my name today. The fishing trip my father invited me on when he was 70. He called on a Wednesday, said he wanted to spend a weekend at the lake, just the two of us. I said I was swamped, maybe next month. He died 6 weeks later. There was no next month. The letter my son wrote me when he was 12. His teacher assigned an essay called My Hero. He wrote about me. I found it 20 years later in a drawer. I never read it when he gave it to me. I was too busy. Too busy to be someone's hero. The vacation to Italy my wife begged for. Every year for 15 years. I always said next year. She stopped asking eventually. She went alone last spring. Sent me a photo of herself smiling in front of the Colosseum. She looked like a stranger, a happy stranger. After the heart attack, I made a decision. I was 68 years old. Most of my life was behind me, but whatever was left in front of me was going to be different. I quit, not just my job. I quit the performance, the pretending, the busyness addiction. I cleared my calendar. And you know what happened? Nothing collapsed. The world kept spinning. Nobody needed me as desperately as I believed they did. I started slow. I sat on my porch one morning and did absolutely nothing for 2 hours. Just watched birds. It terrified me. My hands shook. My mind screamed at me to check my email, to make a list, to do something productive. I stayed still. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. Then I called my son. He didn't answer the first time or the second. On the third call, he picked up. I said 3 words I had never said properly in his entire life. I'm sorry. Silence. Then he cried. A 43-year-old man, crying because his father finally showed up. We're rebuilding, slowly, carefully, like 2 strangers learning each other's language for the first time. I'm happier now at 74 with a broken heart and a quiet house than I ever was at 44 with a full schedule and an empty soul. Now I'm talking to you. The one reading this with 14 tabs open, the one who hasn't taken a real vacation in 3 years, the one who says I'm busy like it's a badge of honor. Stop. If you died tomorrow, would anyone say you were present? Would your children say you showed up? Would your partner say you were there? Not physically actually there, listening, seeing, feeling, or would they say you were dedicated? I know what you're thinking right now. But my situation is different. I have bills, I have responsibilities, I can't just stop. I'm not telling you to stop working, I'm telling you to stop hiding behind work. There's a difference, and you know it. You think you have time. You think there will always be another school play, another anniversary, another phone call from your father. There won't. One day the phone will stop ringing. One day the invitations will stop coming. One day your children will stop asking. And that silence will be permanent. Don't wait until you're lying in a hospital bed with 0 missed calls from family to understand what matters. If I could grab my 30-year-old self by the shoulders, here's what I would scream. Stop. Stop treating your calendar like a scoreboard. Stop measuring your worth by your productivity. Stop saying I don't have time when you mean I'm choosing something else. Stop canceling on the people who love you for people who pay you. Start leaving work on time. Start putting your phone down at dinner. Start showing up to the things that matter even when they feel small. Start calling your parents today, not tomorrow, not this weekend, today. If your child asks you to watch them do something boring and silly and meaningless, go, watch, clap, be there, because those meaningless moments are the ones they remember forever. If your partner asks for your attention, give it completely, not halfway, not with one eye on your phone, completely. If your body tells you to rest, then rest. Don't switch doctors, don't push through, listen, do it now, not later, not next month, not when things calm down. Now, I'm 74. I've been truly alive for 6 years. 6 years out of 74. That's it. That's all I got right. But these 6 years have taught me more than the previous 68 combined. I learned that an empty calendar is not laziness. It's freedom. I learned that sitting with someone in silence is more powerful than any presentation I ever gave. I learned that my son's forgiveness is worth more than every dollar I ever earned. I would give everything to have those 50 years back, to have been present at that school play, to have gone fishing with my father, to have taken my wife to Italy when her eyes still lit up asking. But I can't go back. You can. The irony is beautiful and cruel. When you realize time is limited, you finally start using it right. You stop filling it, you start feeling it. You have a choice right now, right this second. Keep filling your days until they're so packed you can't feel anything. Keep saying I'm busy until nobody bothers asking anymore. Keep climbing, keep running, keep performing, or stop. Look around, see who's still standing beside you, and show up for them while they're still there. Busyness is not living. It never was. Someday is today. Put the phone down. Go be alive. If this hit you somewhere deep, I hope you'll share it with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's drowning in their own schedule and calling it success. Subscribe because I have more truths to tell and honestly not much time left to tell them. Leave a comment. Tell me one thing you're going to do differently starting today. I read every single one. Thank you for your time. Now go spend it on something that matters.